Well, welcome. I'm your host, Robert Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom. Tonight's podcast is 7 ways why contours dissolve unrealized boundary barriers. Contours are your energy rather than going straight up and like boundaries, they block you. They're dead in the water. But a contour allows you to put your energy to go or surround that, whatever it is, as you can keep moving forward. And as you move forward, something will occur that'll energize you to move beyond whatever that unsavory event is. But boundaries are fears. Contours are intuitive curves of becoming fluid motion that of design sovereign scenarios without enforcing separation. See, boundaries stop and your life is over here, and your life never goes beyond that thing. Contours honor movement over measurement, naturally nuances ability and agility over being rigid and frigid about the situation. Contours guide and glide you, energizing, pioneering prowess, chauffeuring you and me across the daily terrain, hearkening trailblazer acumen that boundaries never comprehend. Because boundaries are caught up in the thinking memory mind and the subconscious representations, and all you're living from is cognitive recollections, mindset resistance, and comfort zone programming. And they're all stop here, as my past is to my this way. And boundaries never let you out of the past. Contours dissolve confinement by inviting free-flowing energy, now veiling my trailblazer veracity. Veracity is I never lied to myself. It's truth. Truth and reality are manipulated by your viewpoints, opinions, your thinking and knowing. As veracity is I never lie to myself. And if I never lie to myself, I never lie to the world. That trailblazer veracity that travels of savvy spirals, never straight lines, instantly invigorates my prime trendsetter tenacity and spirit prowess as I smile of gusto gratitude. Why can contours energize and enterprise, energetic liberation, energized listening, colorful curiosity, autonomous expansion, politically incorrect inspiration, cowboy wisdom, outlaw optimism, expressing revolutionary revelation, rising me to my luxurious carpet glide. And that's the thing. We want to be on a luxurious carpet glide, just gliding and floating over our life and never being of our life and never in our life. When you're in it, you're in the muck and the yuck. When you're of it, you're opening freedom. Contours energize me, myself, and I to fly, curving away from control as each bend is a refusal to flatten out and doubt. Instantly electrifies my soul surgency, illuminates heart harmonizing synergy, streaming my free-flowing energy, experiencing my lush, desired lifestyle my way. Contours are a free-flowing energy, as boundaries are fears dead-ended. Enterprising wizardry is my sovereign startup of autonomous audacity, funded by intuition, unsheathed my venture's vibrancy. That unsheaths my energetic liberation, breaks the binary, never healed or broken, just liberated. Liberation is life's inviting me to boldly energize rebellious audacity, trend-setting innovative optimism now. Energized listening hearkens my pioneering pulse beneath the performance As veracity is never spoken, it's hearkened. And my inner informed foresight ignited my people skills that thrill me and myself and I to fly, as my colorful curiosity stains the gray scale of obedience as a splash of sacred mischief. How you like that, being sacred mischief? And that's what it really is your contours open up your sacred mischief. You got to be a little ornery and not sneaky, but you got to be a little bit clever to rise out of the barriers and the boundaries and all the BS we put ourselves through. Autonomous expansion spirals from my inner formed imagination, rising my core with inspirations, and they're never a roadmap, just rhythm of nomadic nirvana, as my politically incorrect inspiration is my visionary veracity, unfiltered, too raw for my obedient approval, too real for egotistical arrogance to ignore, instantly destroying all my boundaries, instantly coloring my contours of my Hellraiser celebration, optimizing nomadic trailblazer omniscient utopian revelation, streaming my heartbeats of neat natural energy, appreciating today. That's the thing. Open up to appreciating your life, sets you free to enjoy your day. As my cowboy wisdom rides my intuition bareback on my Mustang Moxie, was zero range, zero rules, just sovereign signals and daredevil dust of thrusting trailblazer audacity, chauffeuring me through life with ease. How you like that? Chauffeuring you through life with ease. Outlaw optimism glides me on my luxurious carpet glide, riding my unprogrammed presence, witnessing my pristine peace and plush prosperity through my liberated eyes and my soulful ears. It's to ask why are boundaries dead ends? Boundaries never protect, but they pause your life, causing insecurity and fear, controlling your inner active reactions to your daily life, as it does mine. So that's the thing, all the presenters in the world act like they're telling you something, but they're really speaking about themselves. So that's why I speak a lot in first person, because I am actually clueless about what's going on in your life. I understand my life, so if I put it out in first person, I'm talking about me, but if it expands you, you listen to expand your life. A boundary is a map edge, never your terrain's veracity. It marks where knowing stops, thinking, knowing, knowledge, and thought stop, yet never where wisdom begins. Wisdom begins when you stop caving in to your egotistical arrogance, know-it-all ignorance, stubbornness, hard-headedness, and the way you've always done things. I was a professional at that. It's, once you start laughing at things and loosening up and having and opening up your celebratory contours, you stop holding on to yesterday. And see, something I realized, I was holding on to yesterday, expecting it to expand me through today, and all it did was have yesterday's dismay today. So I'm having my heavenly heyday through my energetic liberation today. Why contours dissolve the barriers of boundaries. Contours invite free-flowing energies where boundaries build and demand walls of protection, never ever letting go of yesterday. As my contours intuitively innovate without ever shutting down, gliding my enterprising wizardry, never restricting it. That's something about enterprising wizardry. It's a flowing energy. It streams. And a contour, and you got an obstacle here, a contour, your energy surrounds it and keeps moving forward. As a as a barrier is walking into the dead wall. Why contours are here and now as boundaries are from yesterday's programming. Here's two sharp, sovereign slices of insight to illuminate you and me to rise out of the boundaries to energizing our contours. Contours respond, boundaries resist. Boundaries are relics of static defense, fortresses built from past wounds and inherited scripts. They say no from fear. As contours, by contrast, are alive with enterprising presence. They flex, breathe, and attune to my here and now with a wanderer's wow of wisdom, optimism, and a wonderment of how bold, bright, and wealthy my life can be. Contours never guard, they guide. Contours are the energetic edges of sovereignty. They're felt and felt through inner formed liberation, never forced. Contours are relational wisdom. Boundaries are reactive armor. How is it when you put a wall up, you're never going there, but your life keeps bringing you the same event back to you all the time? And that's what boundaries do. Boundaries often emerge from programming that equates separation with safety. Contours arise from intuitive mastery, an ability to sense where vibrancy ends and distortion begins. They're never drawn in ink, but in awareness. Contours let the sovereign signal in and keep the static doubt out. Never by exclusion, only by discernment. How does that feel? Only by discernment. Why contours liberate me from my cognitive recollections, mindset resistance, and comfort zone boundaries. See, that's where boundaries are comfort zone barriers, is what they are. Contours bypass the archives of yesterday, liberating you and me from the trap of remembered thought. How do we live from remembered thought? Whenever we start thinking and something occurs, we go into the remembered thoughts because our subconscious mind and it runs on replays of yesterday's pain. As soon as something happens, how do you go right into what happened yesterday? I do. But I'm starting to realize that so I can liberate myself from that. And boundaries never move from memory as contours move with the now. Contours melt the comfort resistance and the comfort zone cloning that can never grip what never hardens. Contours melt the comfort resistance, can't grip what never hardens. Boundaries are hard, drawn in the sand stuff. The flow, your free flowing energy melts the mindset that what was frozen in yesterday's dilemmas. Why, my contours illuminate my fashion designer's dexterity, sculpting my lavish desired lifestyle. See, you never want to write life. You always want to make it a lifestyle. What is a lifestyle you desire to experience? Not the one you want to practice or anything, but it's always what do you desire to experience? Contours are the whispers of intention made from visible images of your desired lifestyle. Each curve is a fluent stroke of your fashion design lifestyle and the liberating lingo of your luxurious, bountiful bliss. Dexterity lives in the tension between the edge and the elegance. Contours never shape fabric, they choreograph the desire. How do you like that? Contours choreograph the desire to light the fire of freedom within you. Why contours dissolves unrealized boundary barriers. Contours now reveal movement where boundaries hide stagnation. Contours trace scenarios through terrain that rigid lines overlook. How is your boundaries a rigid line that binds you in your mind and actually creates your fears, your scaredy cat brattiness, trauma, drama? That's all boundaries do, is they keep yesterday's unsavory stuff alive. As contours dissolve the limits, coloring your landscapes with your dreamer's dexterity, that once whatever felt like a wall becomes a pathway of enlightenment, curved through adventurous awareness, never combined by assumption. Why boundaries are unrealized fears, insecurity, and barriers. Boundaries often masquerade as strength, yet beneath the boundaries are unrealized fears crafted to contain what the soul is ready to express. Your soul's urgency is always ready to rise out of the boundaries we set in ourselves, but it's our thinking, knowing, memory, mind, and the subconscious replays of the pain of yesterday keeps us locked into today, keeps us locked into yesterday. Boundaries are never protection. They're hesitation dressed in delusion. Why self-help, personal growth, self-improvement, punctuated books, therapy are unrealized boundaries, fears, and limitations. As self-help and all the healing modalities often prescribe healing as a formula, never as a frequency of freedom and energetic sovereignty. In chasing steps and stages, they overlook the wild wisdom that's already alive within me and you. We already have the wild wisdom, but it's beyond the boundaries and our pre-programmed minds replaying the pain of yesterday. Self-help, personal growth, and the healing modalities frame growth as fixing, never unfolding the trailblazing bravado of my grit, get, and go to show me the better way. And they stigmatize the soul's journey, fencing intuition with expert-approved limitations. How is that? How is self-help, personal growth, self-improved therapy, punctuated book, the experts-approved limitations? Because whenever you read a punctuated book, you're trying to follow and imitate whatever that author is telling you, and then you end up being inside their programming and never illuminating your sovereign savvy and your sovereign voyage of your own dreams. Why change, heal, create, transformation, forgiveness, think, know, learn, knowledge, and thoughts are camouflage fears and boundaries of your comfort zone programming and your insecurity and immaturity and the barriers you experience today. When scripted by system, these become performances, never your presence. They mimic growth while masking the fear of raw, unfiltered, energetic liberation. Thoughts and knowledge often dress as intelligence that echoes cultural conditioning from yesterday's thinking, knowing, and thoughts. Ascendance is never learned as it's experienced beyond the camouflage of curated control. As my candy clarity awakens my sovereign ascending daredevilry liberates me from me. Why transformation, knowledge, thoughts are controlled through indoctrinated education, socialized brainwashing, and ancestor mindsets, creating unrealized boundaries of the here and now. Education installs answers before questions can breathe and rise to the surface. As contours energize your energetic questions and and energized listening to rise out of yesterday. As everything scripts thought to serve, we always taught to script thought to serve the systems, never to spark our sovereign insight to light our light of life. Inherited mindsets shape reality through repetition, never revelation. Transformation gets trapped when knowledge is memorized, never metabolized. I, 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 I comprehend by lightning, never by the leash. As I pulse with my pioneering present, never permission. My contours curve through the cosmos celebrations as my compass that shows me the way to my promised land. I titillate with veracity with every breath, as I am the omniific echo of what systems forgot, as my ubiquitous utopia unbounds, unbought, as I spiral sovereignty. This is me. This is mine. This is my wisdom is wild, and my wisdom is me, setting myself free. As we set the boundaries, we go into a dead wall. And anything beyond that wall is never ever realized, and we never understand the wisdom until we have chaos, adversity, challenges, or something very unsavory that breaks down the wall. The more boundaries you set, the more you're setting yourself up to experience chaos, challenges, adversity, and controversy, because that is the awakenings to break down the walls. You know, in real life, such as we got going on, we get upset when somebody sets a boundary or a wall. But when you set your boundaries, you put an internal wall, and it's an invisible wall. And you wonder why something keeps occurring. That's because that wall is controlling your thoughts and it's controlling the energy you're putting forth into the universe. So the universe and your subconscious mind all think that controversy and that unsavory event is what you want to experience. Because the subconscious mind actually understands whatever you really dislike in the physical world is what the subconscious mind thinks is your comfort zone. Inspiration, liberation, wisdom, clarity, and expressing your inspirations as and your desired outcomes through your daily life, you'll start eliminating the boundaries and start opening up to your colorful contours of your beautiful landscape. And see, the world in the earth is a contour, and it's a grounding, enterprising energy. But the contours are a celebration opening now, titillating, optimistic, ubiquitous, rebellious splendor. Your contours will show you the splendor of life. Your boundaries are going to show you the brainwashed BS you experience from outside sources. So as you open up to the contours, you open up to take the tours of your trend-setting tenacity, but you also open up to your mountaintops of bountiful bliss and your seashores of stunning success in a bold, bright way. And I am Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom, and I want to thank you for being here. But when you open up to your contours, you open up to your free flowing energy instead of the blockages of boundaries. But the contours are just like the land. If you ever look at a land map, you'll see the contours. And you can color the contours any way you want. And all them unsavory events, you can color them gone, like yesterday's dawn. Dawning today's dreamer's appreciation, wanderer's nirvana experience in your life, a fun of the sun splendor. And good night.